Hey, strat season. Man down. Errol Spence said he the big fish at 147. In this video, I'm going to talk about that. What are the implications? What does that mean for the rest of the division? What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So you see this graphic I made is Errol Spence. He has an upcoming fight with Cuban YORDENIS UGAS. I'm looking forward to a great fight. I want to get to a direct quote from Errol Spence that I captured in this graphic. It said, "I'm the big fish at 147. I've been the shot caller." Errol Spence is letting y'all know he's still the man at the welterweight division. Now you got some up-and-comers like Virgil Ortiz and Conor Ben. Well, Virgil Ortiz, he had to pull out of his fight. I made a video about that. Make sure you guys check that. But also one that's high on my list is JARON Boots Ennis. And, you know, Errol Spence wants it to be known that he's still the man. He's still the shot caller in the division. Now, of course, you also have fellow veteran and accomplished fighter Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford. You know, at the end of the day, I still feel what I've always said on my channel, that Terence Crawford, for one, where has Crawford been? You know, he became a free agent after the Sean Porter fight. So I kind of expected, like, we would hear at the beginning of the year kind of what he was doing. And the only thing we did hear was that he was suing his former longtime promoter, Bob Arum. And he says that there was a level of racial bias and different things that, you know, he could no longer deal with. So he wanted to, now that he was free, he decided to sue him. And again, I've made videos about all of this, the latest and greatest in boxing. That's why you guys got to subscribe. Speaking of, I looked at my YouTube analytics for the last 28 days and it showed me something. 50% of the people that watch my videos in the last month are subscribed. So thank you very much. It helps the movement. I'm a one-man army putting out the ill boxing content for you. That means 50% of the people who didn't are unsubscribed. So you may have forgot, it slipped your mind, YouTube unsubscribed you, whatever the case is. Here's your reminder. If you like the content, subscribe. Worst case scenario, you can unsubscribe. Back to Errol Spence. So I agree. I think Errol Spence is truly the man in the division. One thing you got to respect about Errol Spence is he's been a man of his word. Errol Spence, when he says he is going to do something, more often than not, you can count on him to do that. For example, he got the eye injury, the damaged retina, and he's like, man, the doctor, I went to 3-4 doctors and they all had the same prognosis. All the diagnoses were the same, and they said I couldn't fight against MANNY PACQUIAO. Oh, shucks. You know, I was really looking forward to that fight, but I'll be back for the winner for sure. That's literally what he said. I'll be back for the winner for sure. And just like clockwork, we're less than 30 days out. Errol Spence is fighting the winner of this fight near his hometown in Arlington, Texas at the AT&T Stadium. Another message that Errol Spence has been congruent with is he said in situations where he's been off for a while, he don't want no long layoff and then come back to a scrub or a bum type of fighter. He said he wanted to challenge himself and he don't need no tune-up. And guess what? He stayed true to that. Errol Spence was coming off a 9-month layoff when he fought against Kell Brook. So basically, realistically, right? 9 months. And if you go back and watch that fight, Kell Brook had his success in the early parts of that fight. And Errol Spence stayed the course. Errol Spence actually got hurt in that fight early on. But Errol Spence, you know, he weathered it, stayed the course, and then ended up breaking his man down. That's why he has the tagline, "Man down," you know what I mean? And then he put Kell Brook on the chain, on a cross, on some jewelry, on a necklace. But that was a 9-month layoff for Errol Spence, and then he fought for the IBF title. He's like, I've been trying to get the Kell Brook fight. See, I've been in boxing for so long that I remember all these moments. I remember when Errol Spence, he was the young, hungry guy. Nobody wanted to fight him. He was calling out Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was like sidestepping him, saying he wanted Pacquiao and the big names, and everybody was fronting on Errol Spence. Kell Brook was saying he wanted to fight Pacquiao's and Thurman's, and he didn't want to give Errol Spence an opportunity. He even called him Jeff Lacey. He said he's like Jeff Lacey 2.0. I don't see why you Americans are super hyped on him. But it's funny because fighters say this type of stuff pre-fight, and then when the fight happens, now you know why Americans were rating Errol Spence, because he whooped Kell Brook. And you know, Kell Brook's career really has never been the same after the Golovkin loss and then the back-to-back loss with Errol Spence, in my opinion. So there's that. Then he got in the wreck like a couple weeks, I want to say, after the Sean Porter fight, and I went and covered that fight live. That was all pre-pandemic, 2019 if I'm not mistaken. That was a great fight at the Staples Center cryptocurrency arena, whatever they call it right now. And Errol Spence, you know, he was in a tough dog fight, and it was like a fight of the year type of fight. Then he gets in a nasty, heinous car wreck a couple weeks after, and he comes back and he fights a Danny Garcia. He said, I don't need no tune-up. I don't need no tune-up. Now, one thing I noticed immediately is Errol Spence looked like, obviously we're not till fight week. I told you there's a month away. Errol Spence looks like he's in better shape. This is the Danny Garcia fight, and he looks kind of skinny, and you know, he's in shape. But if you look at him now, like, let me get to the current pictures. Hold on. Oh, Ryan Garcia tripping with this. Y'all got to watch this. Follow me at Boxingego 1 on Instagram. Yeah, we having some fun. Look, your boy Blair Cobbs. Hold on, let me find this Errol Spence. I know I posted it. Who's that? Oh, whoops. Oh, that's that Valerie, man. See, there you go. Look, he looked like he's in better shape, right? To me, you know what I mean? He got a nutritionist or a dietitian or whatever, and it looks like things are clicking. Shout out to Ryan Hafey for these photos. But he looks like he's in better shape, like he's coming down to whatever weight he needs to. This is another recent picture. I made a video about this. At the end of this video, YouTube will suggest some videos that you may be interested, so make sure you click on that, or check the channel for this Ego Weight Watchers exclusive, where I kind of go over this picture in Errol Spence. But yeah, he looks like he's in monster shape and he's ready to go. So I'm loving what I'm seeing. Errol Spence truly is the big fish in the welterweight division. See, that's him for the Danny Garcia fight. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Errol Spence, he's a man of his word. He said that he wanted Danny Garcia. That's his tune-up. And then he fought Danny Garcia, and he kind of beat Danny Garcia easier than other people have beaten Danny Garcia, other people that had wins over him. He kind of just boxed him. The only thing I noticed in that fight, he started getting a little bit tired towards the end, but you know, he had banked so many early rounds and gotten so much respect from Danny. Danny was kind of shell-shocked and really didn't have any answers, or you know, didn't go for broke by the end of the fight. So Errol Spence, he got to be the big fish. Now I'm gonna make another follow-up video, but speaking of the big fish, I really have so many questions as to what's next for Terence Crawford. Is he signed to Pro Bellum or Kinahan? You know what I mean? Because Regis Prograis, he's fighting, and he just had a weigh-in, and not too many people have seen it. Meanwhile, Errol Spence is fighting close to his home. All his family and friends could go. Dallas Cowboys Stadium, which is state-of-the-art and crazy, and he's fighting for 3 belts. So, you know, I really don't know how Terence Crawford can make up the ground, because he's suing his old promoter, Bob Arum, for failure to promote him. So it's gonna, what Crawford has demanded publicly in the past, I don't see how that gets met when, just by way of you suing your old promoter for the things you're saying, he didn't make you into a star, and you know, he wouldn't put you on good pay-per-views or whatever. You know, just the fact that you're saying these things is more of a testament to what I'm saying and what Errol Spence is saying, in terms of he is the man to beat. So Errol Spence, he did a recent interview and he talked about fighting Crawford. He said he wants undisputed. He says his whole career and his Hall of Fame status isn't like contingent on fighting Crawford, but that's something he would like to do. But again, as I keep telling you guys on the channel, whether you want to hear it or not, the bottom line is you got to make things make sense, and the business got to make sense. And the fight with Crawford and Spence is a great fight and absolutely should happen. However, if one guy's not realistic and don't know their role in terms of like their value, then that's going to be a standoff. I mean, this is any business though. Like if you apply for a job at Costco and they say, hey, we start at 18 bucks an hour, and you're like, nah, I want 29 bucks an hour. Like, you brand new. You don't have no crate. We're not hiring you for a store manager. You don't have forklift license. They're not going to give you 29 off rip. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But first, Errol got a tough task with UGAS. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And I just wait and see what Terence Crawford decides. But I do agree, Errol Spence is the man division. Hey, big fish. Hey, stop that cat. Subscribe to the channel. I'm the best in the business. And I'm out. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.